When you wake up in the morning, does it feel like you don't have much excitement or even reason to be awake early? Or how about when you're getting dressed? Do you have that dreadful thought of you're actually getting ready for work itself? And how about, is one of the only things making life bearable in the morning coffee? And while you're enjoying your cup of coffee, do you typically decide to entertain yourself by catching up on the latest drama factor of social media? And then, of course, as you're driving to work, do you typically enjoy some music or a podcast to zone out and numb the dread of the next 8 to 10 hours? Typically, it's the people who can't even watch a video all the way through, or the people who scroll down to the comments after clicking on a video. Those are the types of people who are so sucked into their own dopamine addictions that they can't even realize that they're looking for their next dopamine hit, just like a drug addict. So what exactly is dopamine detoxing? How is dopamine and being controlled by dopamine actually making your life meaningless? And how can you take control of it right now? Now, I love these other YouTubers like Nathaniel Drew and Andrew Kirby. However, when they cover these topics, I think they just took a little too long to get to the point. So let's get straight to the point. What is dopamine detoxing? The first question we have to ask is, why does dopamine even exist in the first place, and what is it? Well, dopamine is a chemical in your brain that when it's released, it's telling your brain and your body that what you're doing when it's released needs to be done again and again. Now, why does this happen? You have to understand why this happens in nature, why it even exists, right? Well, the reason it exists is because it is a survival mechanism for us to keep doing the things that we need to do. That's why when you go out and you work out, it feels good after that workout. It might not feel good during it, but after it feels really good. That's a dopamine spike. It wants your body, it wants yourself to keep doing that. Now, here's a great example. Why is sex so great? Well, it's so great. It's because that's how evolution tells us as an individual that we need to go out and procreate so we can pass on our genes and continue the survival of the human race. You need to understand this from a non-biased, unemotional, natural perspective. You can't just be looking at it as just something that happens. Now that we understand that, why is it so important that we take control of this chemical? And it's because you are doing things that are unnaturally releasing dopamine in your brain. Now, what do I mean by that? You are, one, obsessing way too much with binge eating and food. Food is the number one cause for unnatural amounts of dopamine to be released in your brain, right? When you're overindulging in food, it's way too easy to access food. On top of that, the types of foods that you eat are literally designed to keep you addicted. Sugar, carbs, all of these amazing desserts and foods. People are spending billions of dollars to develop these to make you addicted. The second thing is going to be screens. Look at anything with a screen is literally built and designed to keep you engaged with that device. Doesn't matter if it's a TV, if it's a phone, or if it's a computer or anything. That screen, whatever's on that screen, social media, all of these companies are spending trillions of dollars to develop and understand your dopamine spikes so that they can control it to keep you on the app. And of course, there's drugs, okay? This one's very obvious. If you get addicted to a drug, it's because you're taking that dopamine hit straight to the brain every time you do that drug, and it's going to make you come back more and more. And of course, lastly, I don't want to leave out the negative habits and the negative addictions. So if you have any negative addictions or habits that you just can't break, you need to understand that you need a detox of dopamine because you are being controlled by synthetic dopamine releases. I'm not gonna lie, like, you're watching this video right now on YouTube, which means that you are already in the cycle of looking for your next dopamine hit. So let me ask you, what are you gonna do after this video? All right, I get it. My life is meaningless, I'm out of control, and I'm just a dopamine fiend. Now tell me how to fix it, Joey. So the first thing we need to do is we need to audit ourselves. And we don't need to audit for a super long time. We have to analyze ourselves, our actions, and our behavior patterns to figure out why we're depleting our dopamine. And you can't do this by just sitting there. So down in the description, there's gonna be a worksheet completely free on me where you can use to answer some questions and also analyze yourself through a 24-hour period. From the very millisecond you wake up to the millisecond you go to sleep, every 30 minutes you want to record exactly what you do. And you're going to have a timer on to help you remember to write things down. Now, when this 24 hours is over, you want to go through your self-audit and look at the things that you're doing, because you cannot refute this. You cannot argue that these are the facts. Look at what you're doing and look at the top 3 things that you're doing on a daily basis that is just leaking dopamine out of your brain. Choose the top number 1 thing that you think, if you were to get rid of that, it would probably take care of most of the problem. For a lot of people, it's probably gonna be social media. So if you can get rid of your social medias, or at least try to reduce the amount of time that you spend on social media, you are inevitably going to put that dopamine back in your brain and start to have more control over how it's released. And you can also put more meaning back into your life because you now have control over what you want to do, rather than being controlled by things that are literally designed to take you out. So now that you understand how to take back control of your life and actually bring meaning back into it, I want you to do one thing right now. I want you to go down in the description and click on my website link. It says savedbody.com/case study. Click on that video, click on that link. What it's gonna do is take you to a video on my website. This video is actually an in-depth explanation on how I was able to completely transform my life and design the dream lifestyle that I'm currently living. And I wanna show you exactly how to do that for yourself for completely free. This will be the most important, valuable 30 minutes you will ever invest this week, or at least this month. I can guarantee that. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, that you want to actually create your dream life, your dream body, your dream relationships, your dream career, go watch that video right now. Now, with that being said, I love you guys. I will see you in the next video.